Guys, hi. My name is Gareth Olivier. I'm the head of the online bridging course. I work with a great team of lecturers who work together in delivering the course. And I just thought this would be a nice opportunity just to talk through a few of the basics and the fundamentals of what we do. It's a question we get a lot in terms of what is this online bridging course? I think online means a lot of different things to a lot of people, and sometimes when we see this term or we read through what it involves, I think sometimes we can think, okay, can I just have a little bit more information? And I think the idea of this video is just to have a chat through just what it involves, how the course runs, what it provides, what it doesn't, just to hopefully give you a sense of how it works. And I think in some ways it is a difficult question to answer because it brings in a lot of different things. I mean, that's the nature of a course. That there's a lot of different activities, there's a lot of different processes, and I just want to give you a sense of an overview and a feeling for what we provide in this online bridging course. And I think a logical place to start is what we believe about education as a team and what we try to deliver. So let's take a look at that. I've included some pictures just to develop pictures in our minds of what this course looks like. And I think when I think about education, and I think as a team what we believe in education is, number one, it's about people. So when we speak about this idea of an online course, I think sometimes we think, oh, it's just a computer and it's you and me, and I sit at my desk and I struggle on my own, and maybe a computer jumps in every now and then and tells me what to do. That's not education. Education at its heart is about people getting together and talking. And all aspects of the course must speak to that. So that's why I love this picture of a guy sitting around a table, just chatting, and almost this relaxed environment of just chatting is what we try to create. You'll notice in a video like this, I say I'm an R. You'll notice I haven't scripted this thing. A lot of this course and what we believe about education is sitting down together and talking. It's not about being slick. It's not about being overly professional or uptight. It's about sitting down and having a conversation, and that's what we try to bring into the course. So more examples: sitting around a table, chatting. And in some ways, I don't even like this picture because everyone's looking at the lecturer who's sitting here. I think this is far more about a two-way discussion, a three-way discussion, a group discussion, debates, interaction. Those are the things we're looking at. Okay, and these are the things that we need to become a CA. So I think in this course, what we can do is we can use technology to create connection and create communities and connect us in a way that we might not have been connected if we didn't have these technological resources. But this also speaks to becoming a chartered accountant, because it takes people skills, it takes interaction, it takes discussion, it takes really taking problems, turning them on their heads and looking at them at different angles and solving them through different lenses that we might not have thought about before. That's what becoming a CA is about. That's what a great CA does. And I think that's therefore what we have to do in order to mirror that process in the course. What's not helpful from an education point of view and what doesn't lead to great development is where you just say, here's a book, good luck, read it, and hopefully at the other end you pop out like a CA. That can't cause transformation. That can't get us to become a better version of ourselves, at least in an effective way. And if you're becoming part of this course, you're looking to join the path to becoming a chartered accountant. And these are the skills that we need. And as we say, we use technology to leverage and to maximize your ability and to connect us. But ultimately, it comes down to people. So if we think about words that we look at in our education, we talk about active community, team, working together, partnership, being on the same level as one another. We want you to feel guided. You should never feel like you don't know what to do. There should be a clear guide and path in order for you to know what you need to do in order to get to a different level. What do you need to do? What is the process? How do we suggest you tackle this thing? We never want you to just feel like go and read 100 pages and come back and talk to us later. That's not great guided education, and it's certainly not interactive. Supported, genuine care, and as we say, ultimately, we need this thing to be about people and people connecting and talking to one another. So that's that's key and at the heart of what we believe about education. Okay, and an interesting question, bridging versus CTA. So we're speaking specifically in this video about the online bridging program, but how is that different to the CTA? And you'll have read through the key information on the website, and I guess the key difference, CTA takes you straight into Cycler's ITC, so after you complete that, you go straight into the first board exam. Bridging is far more about the foundation. So quite different in terms of what we discuss in each of the courses. The bridging is far more, if you just need to, sometimes a refresher, sometimes just a stronger foundation, sometimes a case of developing your confidence, just a strong foundation, so that when you do progress into the CTA, you really have those groundings firmly in place. And what we do in the bridging and CTA, they're both pretty similar educational environments in terms of how we support, how we communicate. But the bridging focuses a lot more. It cuts out all the noise, it cuts out all the exceptions, and it goes back to developing a firm foundation, a solid base, so that when we get into the more complicated issues and the exceptions and this and that, in CTA, we really just have a strong foundation, because that's where we find students really do well. If you have a firm foundation, we find that students really fly from a CTA perspective. So bridging's often for you if you haven't studied for a while, if you did struggle somewhat in your undergrad, all those, the bridging course is just designed to give you a leg up and to leverage your ability into the CTA, so you can really perform well and do well on your first attempt. The bridging is also nice because it's a similar educational process and community, and therefore if you complete the bridging program first, when you go into the CTA, you're used to it. So you know what to do, you know how the processes work. It's not a big change in terms of an environment. So quite different content, I'd say, at the end of the day. The CTA goes into a lot more of the complicated details and exceptions and that side of things, and the bridging is far more on the foundation and the core conceptual issues. But almost the educational philosophy or the ideas are quite similar. Okay. Let's look on a very practical level. What do we do in each week in the online bridging program? So we've designed this specifically that you can do it full-time or part-time, and that's imperative. I think one of the big benefits of online education is it allows you to be flexible and learn in a way that's best suited to you, and different people have different needs, whether you're working, whether you are in a remote area, whether you learn better at 2 in the morning versus at 8 in the morning. These are all things that are unique to us. So we've designed this, I think full-time or part-time is even quite broad and doesn't really capture what we mean. But what we do is we really design this flexibly. So we want to empower you to learn and work in the way that best suits you. And therefore, of course, it must be available part-time or full-time. What we don't want to confuse is we can't confuse flexibility with it's just relaxed and it doesn't need a lot of work. This is designed around a full-time work schedule. So we estimate around 40 hours a week. For some students it's more, for some students it's less, but it's pretty substantial in terms of workload. So if you aren't doing this on a full-time basis where you can commit all your time to it, it does mean that there's substantial work in the evenings after hours. We support you. We want to provide mechanisms where we're available in the evenings, where we run sessions, early morning, lunchtimes, evenings, weekends, when we're available to you when works for you, but nevertheless you still need to find the time across those 4 subjects. So that's basically the time the time requirements. Then when it comes to actually delivering the content, now a lot of this course is as a starting point based on content. Of course, we can provide all the best guidance and support in the world, but if we don't have a common starting point, we don't get anywhere. And the nice thing about the content, or lessons as we call them in the course, is this can be accessed anytime, anywhere, any place. It's recorded. There's a lot of videos, there's writings, there's questions, but basically you can go through it in your own pace, at your own time, and you can learn in a way that works best for you. Basically, the way the lessons or the content would work is it would be set out in kind of an overview screen. So for example, this is one of the topics from financial reporting. I think it's on provisions and contingencies. And we basically got lessons 1 all the way through to lessons 5. And basically all you do is you'd if you want to start on lesson 1, you click on lesson 1, and then there's a guided process through lesson 1 and the things to think about in lesson 1, some activities to do, and each lesson you basically click through, and out comes the process that you'd work through. So within these, there would be videos like this, there would be questions, there would be various activities, but you guided the whole way through in terms of what you would be doing. So as an example, this is what it might look like when you open up one of the lessons. So we open up lesson 4.1, and then it gives us some outlines for here we go, read these paragraphs 4, 7, and 11, and 14 to 26. And then we'd go on to the next part, and then you'd click through to the next part of the lesson. So you're really guided as you go. Then there's videos within the lessons, and as we're doing here, we'd write on these things. You'd see us, we'd just chat through each of the concepts. So we break it down into these almost these bite-sized learning chunks that we go through as we go. And you can also even speed up these videos. You can watch at 1.5 speed, 2 double speed, and you can go back and rewind. You can tailor it to what works for you, but we basically have one video for each concept. So these videos are generally between 5 minutes and 10 minutes long, sometimes slightly longer, but we certainly never have videos that are, for example, 3 hours. We break it down into learning chunks, and then we'd follow that by questions to make sure that you'd get them. Some are multiple choice questions, just really quick. Did you get this or didn't you? Sometimes it goes into almost a longer example, more like a test or exam, and we can chat through things and draw and really assist and chat through that process. Okay, once you've gone through the contents, this was all content up to now, then we go into practice questions, and this is where we start to transition more into what looks more like tests. So we look at past tests, we look at exams, we look at questions where they become more integrated. We call them practice questions, and they really develop your ability to get closer and closer to a test standard. Again, we don't just leave you with the questions, we take you through a process. We have videos with feedback. Did you get this? Did you get that? These are the calculations we did this. Obviously taking you through exam technique. These are great ways to score marks, and through that process you guided on how to get through those practice questions. So it's the content followed by the practice questions, getting closer and closer to an exam standard, so you really feel prepared by the time it gets into tests. Okay, speaking of tests and exams are the one aspect that do happen at a physical location, so you can't do online. Within South Africa, we've got 42 test venues. What we try and achieve as a principle is that you never have to travel more than 50 kilometers to your test venue. So we've got these venues dotted all around the country. You can check when you actually enroll, you can check where your closest venue is, but we do have them nicely spread throughout the country. We even cater outside South Africa. We have quite a lot of students in Namibia and Zimbabwe. We organize test venues there. All you need to do, as I say, is on enrollment is just chat to us about where you need to write. And even if you're in the rest of the world, we can try and accommodate you and create test venues there. So we'd really like this course to be accessible basically wherever you are in the world. Okay, guys, from a support point of view, up to now we've chatted kind of content, just like how we get the information to you and how we deliver it in a really effective way where you write your tests. Support is where the people really come in, and the interactivity and the live, and we almost use the content and the recorded issues to almost get that out the way. You can really do that in your own time, at your own pace. Study at 2 in the morning, study at 4 in the morning, study at 10 in the morning, 8 at night, where really wherever works for you. The support now looks at, well, once you've gone through the content, once you've worked through these issues, how do we help you if you're struggling? How do we help you get up to a test level? How do you know what to do in order to improve? So, and we have various mechanisms available from a support point of view. We're available for live video chat, things like Skype, where you can attend one-on-one, you can attend in a study group if you're studying with friends. We can assist you on the phone. We've got quite an interesting and effective booking software where you literally go online and you book a time with any of the lecturers for any of the subjects. So that works quite well, and again, that's quite nice because it's flexible. So you can book at a time that works for you, and we really do try to make our lecturers available throughout the day. And even if you can't get a slot, you email us and you tell us when would work for you, and we try and accommodate you via any of those mechanisms. We also support via text. So sometimes text, when you're studying at 3 in the morning, it can be difficult to get to speak to a live lecturer. So we have these discussion forums where you can actually post a question. So you might have seen on our homepage for working through a topic, there's actually a discussion forum for each subtopic, and you can just drop a line. Oh, guys, I'm not sure how this concept works. Please assist me. And then the lecturers go into those discussion forums, and you can discuss back and forth. And that's also available to all the students. So sometimes even as students, we help each other. And that's a nice forum that the lecturers and students are part of. And then also, of course, email. We respond to that always within 1 business day. Okay, and then lastly, we've got our group online sessions. We run these weekly for each subject, and this is a case of getting together and just discussing, how did the week go? How was the content? Where did you struggle? What was good? What was not good? What can we explain a bit more? What can we debate? What if this? What if that? How could this look different in a test or exam? And we get together in these groups, and we can have these proper facilitated debates, so that even if you don't have a specific question where we thought, geez, I need to organize a one-on-one chat with a lecturer, these group online messages are just a chance to log in and become part of the community, hear what other people are thinking, hear what lecturers are thinking on a live basis, and just discuss this in an interactive online forum. Okay, guys, lastly, mentorship, really effective in past programs that we've run. Past students are so effective. As lecturers, we don't know everything, and we really admit that. And I think past students, the guys who completed this course a year or 2 ago, that are going through the process, sitting in your shoes, your struggles, we bring those guys in, and those are really helpful as mentors, and they're the guys who know what you're going through and can chat through things, and we connect you to those guys, and those guys are awesome in walking the journey with you during the year. And just, I think you really get the sense with past students who've completed it recently that they know what you're going through, and you can really tap into their expertise and knowledge and get great advice from them. And we've got a wide range of past students, and you have an opportunity to pick the one who you associate with, and walk the journey with them, and we've got some great guys involved in that. And of course, as lecturers, we can act as mentors too if you need advice from us. This isn't just an academic course. We want to give you support, ideas. If you're feeling a bit off track, how can you get back on track? We're here to work with you on that, and those mentorship programs work quite nicely. Okay, guys, at the end of the day, remember we started with the question, what is this online bridging course? And we said, well, sure, not that easy to answer in just a couple of sentences. It's really a community at the end of the day. I know these pictures can be a bit cliched, but it's about people getting together and creating discussion, debate, and through that we all maximize our ability. And I think in the online bridging course, what we try to do is create these different forums that allow us to talk, allow us to connect, and through that connection and those shared questions that we can work through, we want to make the experience seamless, so that you can focus on your learning. So we don't have to worry about computers, and we don't have to worry about all these different aspects. That the computers and the technology really just facilitate what we do. So ultimately, through the technology and through the program and through the mechanisms, at the end of the day, we're standing on each other's shoulders, we're getting together and we're having a conversation. We feel guided, we feel supported, and we feel like that those resources are available to us so that we can maximize our potential. To me, that's what the online bridging course is all about.